polarizing styles will both get their way this evening in Louisville, but which philosophy will prevail? You're watching a cross-conference clash between Lou City and New Mexico United on ESPN+. Welcome one and all to the show. My name is Mark Schoenster. I'm joined by Eric Dobransky. Starting off with Lou City, they are at the top of the table in the East.
And when you're setting the pace like Lou City are, you have the natural fear of complacency. But even with the huge result a few weeks ago against the Charleston Battery, the Battery are still right there within striking distance, waiting for any sort of stumble.
Let's take a look at tonight's player profile presented by Commonwealth Credit Union, helping them stave off the Charleston Battery. Why did the league let Philip Goodrum land here?
I am not sure if you can be in any better form than Philip Goodrum is in right now. He has exploded for 10 goals in 10 games. The goals are big, but it's his contributions and his commitment to being quality on and off the ball that makes this team tick.
Meanwhile, on the other side of things, for New Mexico United, not quite top of the table, but right in the mix of the Wild West.
Yeah, 21 of the team's 26 points were collected in the opening 10 games. It was a stretch in which they went 7-3 with 6 clean sheets. That start has allowed them to navigate this tough run of form and still be right there fighting for a top 4 spot in the West.
Early season indicators would have suggested they were going to be a top team in the conference, but a recent skid for Dennis Sanchez's side leaves them struggling.
And Mark, they have what they need to get this turned around. They have the belief, the quality, and a clear identity. And when you have those, results will come because consistency and approach will stabilize outcomes over time. But right now, they need to get back to being tough to break down defensively.
And boy, wouldn't a win against the big dogs in their home field turn the tides for the visitors. But Lou City hasn't lost a league match in this Palace all season long. Whether they keep it that way or not will be decided after this break on ESPN+.
With a new Toyota from Toyota's National Sales Event, summer plays on. Whether you're teaching the art of tailgating, showing up for the home team, or finding the ultimate skybox, with a new Toyota, you can keep summer playing anywhere.
Get a new 25 Corolla or any new Camry with 4.99 APR financing. Lease a Corolla from $199 a month or Camry from $279 a month.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Summer is heating up with beach vacations, road trips, backyard barbecues, and fireworks. So fuel your summer with MyCard, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. MyCard gives you 3 points for every dollar you spend on transportation and travel, and 1.5 points for everything else, all with no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees. Don't have MyCard? Don't flip out. Flip the balance with a balance transfer and fuel your summer with MyCard, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
This is Lynn Family Stadium's premium club area. You come in here on a game day, it's an all-exclusive experience with food and drink. You get to see the team come out.
Have you heard of Brian Ownby?
Oh, yeah.
His speed on the pitch is...
I'll be out there in a sec. Feeling a little slow today.
We know Candace will be watching, and you can too. Watch Louisville City all season long on WBKI and on WDRB+.
WDRB is the official weather forecaster for the 2025 Kentucky State Fair. Tune into WDRB News during Fair Week and be weather aware.
As a mom and news anchor, life moves fast. That's why I like the WDRB News app. I don't really have time to stop and scroll, so that's why I like the push notifications. Everything from breaking news to traffic alerts, it's all on my home screen. Just a quick glance and I'm up to speed.
We're back here at Lynn Family Stadium on ESPN+. Louisville City playing host to New Mexico United. It's Mark Schoenster and Eric Dobransky with you here for the show. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the match. These are brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Starting off, though, with Lou City, one big change, and it's between the sticks.
It is, and this is a team that is looking to continue to tighten the screws defensively. Kevon Lambert, his role in front of this back line, disrupting play, minimizing transition threats, will be critical. Jake Morris, his first regular season start of the season, one of the most electric wingbacks in the league. His influence will be felt as his two-way role, getting up and down the field. That ground coverage is crucial.
Danny Fondez getting the look due to Damian Loss picking up a bit of a knock. It's his first look of the entire season across all the competitions. So New goalie in the back line. Let's see how that chemistry works out here this evening. Meanwhile, for the visitors, New Mexico United, this is what they're trotting out.
And my attention goes directly to Zico Bailey and Jabang. They'll be instrumental in guiding the purposeful possession that New Mexico United are looking for, but also providing that outlet for Seymour and the new addition of Kip Keller. How do they protect him defensively and also on the ball in the ability to break that pressure? Then this dynamic front three led by Greg Hurst, 4 goals this season.
Chris Shakes, as far as goalkeepers are concerned, also relatively new to the starting look for New Mexico United. It's his 4th start in league play this season. So 4 starts to Danny Fondes's 0. So we'll see how that affects this match. The whistle sounds and we are underway from Lynn Family Stadium. New Mexico United, they love having the ball. Louisville City say, go ahead and have it. We'll take our chances when they come. Excited to see how these two styles clash here this evening. New Mexico in the yellow unis, of course. Lou City in their purple. Once again, you're tuned in on ESPN+. My name is Mark Schoenster. I'm joined by Eric Dobransky. Two sides that not only as entities of competition, but just organizations in general, both great representations of the USL. Great fan bases, do a lot to give back to their respective communities.
Seen early coming together, Valentin Noel and Taylor Davila.
First foul called. Our head official for this evening, Brandon Stevis. The rest in the red shirts today. Blue City coming off of a 4-2 win on the road against Miami. A game that was actually a bit ugly for their standards, Eric. They were at 2-2 at halftime. That's a lot of goals for a Danny Cruz side to be conceding, and certainly wasn't pleased with the way they played in that first half, but he mentioned he was really happy with the resiliency of the squad in that one, because not every night's gonna be your prettiest, not up to your standard. And he mentioned just how tough of a place to play it is to go all the way down to South Florida to play Miami. They made their adjustments, and the players were able to execute on those changes.
Good step there by Josh Jones. Continues to grow in his role defensively. But to the point you were just making, Lou City, every game they play, they're going to get every team's best shot. And obviously going down to a tough place to play at Miami FC and playing against an Eastern Conference opponent that is doing everything they can to pick up points, to put themselves right in that playoff picture. They sit right, right at that line where they're trying to pick up valuable points, and saw a spell in that first half that both teams were just exchanging goals. But Lou City were able to find that stability in the second half, score the 2 goals, leave South Florida with all 3 points. And that's what you're gonna need through seasons like this, where you only have the 1 defeat. That resiliency that Danny Cruz mentioned. Now they have a Western Conference opponent that is desperate for 3 points right now.
McFadden whips in the ball, claimed by Chris Shakes. Yeah, we talk about a side winning a game on the road on an off night, and that off night's still a 4-goal output from Lou City. So it's crazy the standard they hold themselves to. Good run. Keeps this one in play. Still go on. Good run. Drives it in centrally, and it sprays wide. Aiden McFadden was looking to connect.
And these are the moments that Lou City feast on, is that central ball that gets played into feet. They pressure it, they turn you over, and then they go right at you. They don't reset, they don't play backwards, they don't play sideways. They try to find the first positive, progressive ball, and they put themselves in a situation where they climb right into your 6-yard box. Good first opportunity.
Shakes will loft this one up into the air. Commonwealth Credit Union. To learn more about how we could help you meet your financial goals, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com.
And that spell of possession that led to that opportunity for Lou City. You look at what New Mexico United was doing in that build, and similar and reminiscent of how the Charleston Battery approached it. Obviously, the ball going into Aaron Malloy, the ability to play out. That ball went up, back, and then it just needs a quick decision. It just needs to pop off your foot. It needs to have another outlet to climb the field again. And it just got stuck. And when it gets stuck, Lou City is all over those pressing cues, and they do it collectively.
And a bit of a reactive start here for New Mexico United. Lou City causing some havoc to the visitors, a side that just came off of a pretty emotionally turbulent match at home against the Las Vegas Lights. A 2-2 draw at the end of things. You score an early goal to take the lead. Gets drawn at before halftime. Then you go down a man, you go down a goal, and then you keep firing and are able to find an equalizing goal at the end. And that's not even talking about the fact that there are players from both sides that had just recently swapped teams and then scored against their former clubs. And a lot of interesting storylines throughout that match. And Dennis Sanchez rightfully had some mixed feelings about the way that game unfurled. He felt like they weren't the protagonists of the game even after they took the early lead. They could have been a little bit more cutthroat in that first half and put the game out of reach. And then, of course, you incorporate the red card from Talon Maples, and that's going to shake up the element of a match. But he was really happy about how his guys were able to roll up their sleeves and just grind out a result. Akale squares it in centrally. Shot played towards goal. It's off target. Usman Jabang couldn't test Danny Fondez. His 4th year with the club, Danny Fondez. Has 14 appearances with Lou City since he joined in 2022. Played a crucial role in that first year in their Eastern Conference title playoff run. Kyle Morton being the man, the lead man that is, at the goalkeeping spot that season, but he had to step in, make some big saves, especially against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So, he's a guy who's able to step in at a moment's notice, but it's still something to monitor throughout this match.
Oh, 100%, because he's very familiar with the identity and the style of play and the non-negotiables of Lou City, but unless you're getting those real-time reps day in, day out, week in, week out, it does become something where you do need to start growing into the match. And that's something that Danny Fondez is quality and fully capable to get some of those early touches that make him comfortable.
Jake Morris lets it fly himself from way downtown. Harmless at the end of things. And to add to that thought about Fondez, sometimes your backup goalkeeper is a young up-and-coming talent, a guy who's a little green, but that's not the case with Fondez. 32 years old, been around the professional block. So it's not like you're throwing in someone who doesn't have the maturity to handle that plug-and-play situation.
Correct, and just as I was talking about the comfort that he's going to start gaining minute after minute, it's on New Mexico United to make him uncomfortable, move the box around, create some opportunities. Obviously, you saw the opportunity from Jabang. Put that on frame, make him have to make an early save. Obviously, that would build some confidence, obviously, in that regard if he was there. But you do want to test, you want to see what you're going to get from a goalkeeper that's making their first start of the season.
Hasn't played in a competitive match since May of 2024. And that was in the US Open Cup. Matching up against the Seattle Sounders, an MLS side. Watching New Mexico United on the road against Louisville City. Lou City have been so tough to beat here at Lynn Family Stadium that in the year 2025, only 2 teams have actually bested Lou City in this facility. One of them was in the Open Cup, an MLS side in Minnesota United, and the other in a friendly against the Bundesliga side, Eintracht Frankfurt. So if that goes to show you just how good you need to beat these guys at this venue, I'm not sure what else to tell you. And they have been excellent this season so far, and Danny Cruz would be the first to tell you that, talking about all the way up to this point. And you touch base on it in our open, which is that can't get complacent. That's the big thing that they're trying to maintain through this final 10-game stretch of the season. On top of that, just tightening the screws on defending in transition and on set pieces. Hurst carrying it forward for New Mexico. Akale stepping inside, tries to slide it towards goal, and Fondez will react appropriately.
And that was an example of a team that is committed to navigating those uncomfortable moments in possession deep in your defensive third. I mean, it looked in some sequences in the build for New Mexico United that they were one pass away from a turnover, but they stayed true to their identity. They stayed true to the passes they wanted to complete, and they found that bigger outlet. And you heard it a few moments ago from Dennis Sanchez. Don't be afraid to skip the line. Don't be afraid to find that higher outlet. And it's not necessarily quote-unquote direct play. It's that longer pass. It's that threaded pass that breaks multiple lines. And that's more about the angles and not necessarily proximity. You just want to worry about providing that next pass if Zico Bailey's checking in, working off of his angle, and then providing that outlet.
Mukwele Akale stepping inside. Akale trying to float it towards Among. Deflects back out to Lindsay. First time I get to mention the name Kit Keller, wearing number 4 for New Mexico United. Was announced all of yesterday as being on loan from the MLS unit, Minnesota United. Playing action this year, though, he's spent with Minnesota United 2 in the MLS Next Pro. So getting a chance to play immediately after plugging in, but he's got the quality for it, so.
And he fits right into what Dennis Sanchez and this side want to do. Center back that can break pressure and break lines, not only with the passing range, but the ability to go on the dribble. It's almost become what that new age position has kind of evolved into, is you got to play make from that position. What a drive here.
Just a nosedive from Zico Bailey straight down the pitch. Hurst lays it out to the right-hand side, driven back in the middle. Just off target. Service from Jalen Lindsay down that right-hand side, but you mentioned it immediately. This starts with Zico Bailey.
And for New Mexico United, they're doing a terrific job of mixing in the methodical passes and then slipping in the urgency.
Mukwele Akale from the right corner flag. Served back inside. Play still going on. There are some waves for offside, but you gotta wait for the whistle before you can halt the action. Gloucester has the favor returned to him. And another corner kick incoming, courtesy of the deflection off of McFadden.
And this is a good spell from New Mexico United. I think after that early turnover that created Lou City's chance a few minutes into the first half, you've seen them not necessarily simplify the play through the back, but be a bit more intent, have a bit more intent, purpose in terms of how quickly that ball is coming off their foot. And the idea is that they're executing and the rate they're executing at, it's going to be keeping that level throughout, and you've earned 2 consecutive corners.
Played short to Akale. Noel, some room here for Gloucester. Chris Gloucester through the mess, deflects wide, but whenever you take a shot into the traffic like that, it could pinball anywhere.
Yeah, when this ball gets back to Gloucester, you want to start climbing, getting out of your 18-yard box. You still have a lot of traffic sitting in front of Danny Fondez. Slightest of deflections could be trouble.
A slew of corner kicks, once again, this time taken short to Akale. Noel taps it back out. Lovely cross inside. Header off target. So a spell of set pieces, but fruitless at the end of the day for New Mexico. New Mexico United trying to flip the script. They've been going through a tough period. Things just haven't been working out. Dennis Sanchez said, it's some adversity, but it's going to test us, and once we're through it, it's going to be a better team long-term once you overcome that hump. Of course, it certainly stinks while you're in the mess. Foul from Davila. And will be quickly retaken by Greg Hurst. This one given away. Philip Goodrum trying to cut inside. Play will go on. A lot of appeals, but Brandon Stevis will not acquiesce. And now the whistle will blow because we do have players down, and there's certainly some dissent at Lynn Family Stadium from fans and coaches alike. All right, let's roll back everything that just took place over these past few moments here, Eric. First off, Goodrum, no call.
Yeah, an interesting no call. I mean, obviously the turnover there, and Goodrum goes right down the field. And you have Lambert catching Thomas Among.
So in the 18th minute here, both sides get a chance to recoup with their coaches. You can see some whiteboards in hand as both sides have had the chance to see what the opposition is offering in this match and perhaps a quick adjustment during the match.
Yeah, and Dennis Sanchez and his side, when you play Lou City, you know you're going to encounter that press. You know that you're going to have those moments that you see a lot of havoc coming at you. Now you're getting a look at it in real time. So now you're providing some of the ideas, some of the outlets that become available as the match wears on. So that's something that they could be covering. And obviously for Lou City, they've had some loud moments where they've been able to turn over New Mexico United, but it's been the times that New Mexico United found their way out is when they've absorbed the biggest opportunities that have come from their opponent. So now it's about owning that second and third action defensively. Okay, that first wave of press, you don't necessarily get that recovery, you don't regain possession higher up the field, but now what are the next outlets that New Mexico United are looking for? Obviously, we've seen a lot of involvement by Akale along that right side, that half space right outside the 18-yard box, and his link up with Hurst and that late entry of either Zico Bailey or Jabang.
So Thomas Among is going to walk his way off the pitch for now. We'll see if he re-enters the game or if an early change is going to be necessitated from Dennis Sanchez. Looks like he'll get some tactical instruction from Dennis Sanchez. Now, Eric, you talk about dealing with the press, and I mean, the fact of the matter is you can look at the tape and in the film room know what to do, as this one blazes through, claimed by Shakes. But it's a whole different beast when you're actually experiencing that press in the game.
It is, because it does require a lot of bravery, because I mentioned it a few moments ago that when you're breaking a press, it's convincing yourself that it is not proximity. You don't necessarily need to get closer to the ball to get on the ball and break the press. And if you are the player getting closer to the ball, then you need some help behind you that provide that angles to break the next line. And it's easier said than done, just in regards of, because that ball that gets played into the next line, that channel that you play through is probably very narrow and congested. So there's times where you second guess yourself, but it's just got to come off your foot, and it's got to be hit with good quality and some pass detail. But when you're a high possession team like New Mexico United, pass detail and quality, something that already exists in your toolbox.
And now a corner kick incoming for Lou City. Some of that pressure rewarding them again. Now they'll get a lick from the left corner flag. This will be a 5-5 corner kick. Ray Serrano will provide service. The visitors had a handful on one end. Let's take it short. Service headed down and won't be on target. This portion of tonight's match is presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers.
I mean, even right here, you see the setup of contrasting styles. You see the press that Lou City is going to put on you, and then Mexico United, who's going to get on the ball? Who's going to be the playmaker coming out of the back? And when you set up like that and you go long, now how do you get back on the ball, and what shape and what structure do you get the ball in?
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of Lou City. Get all of your Lou City tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Some tumbling and a whistle. Thomas Among airing some complaints to the 4th official. Dennis Sanchez very involved from his bench. I'm very curious to see how involved the likes of Valentin Noel, Bailey, Jabang are in this game, because I think Lou City would prefer if this stays along the touchlines as opposed to being in the middle of the pitch. They're going to let a side have the ball, and Lou City has done that oftentimes this year, where they're okay with relinquishing possession. It's just about escorting them to the preferable locations.
Yeah, you want to make New Mexico United go around you and not allow them to go through you. And the drive by Zico Bailey is a prime example of the variety in which you can go through opponents. You can drive on the dribble. You don't necessarily have to pass through teams. If you see the space and you see the occupation of other defenders, go ahead and drive into that space. Pull somebody with you, manipulate those areas, and get your teammates involved as you start to enter that final third. And that's the blend that we've begun to see from New Mexico United. But this is also how fragile these two contrasting styles can be when you play a team that is so ball dominant and likes to be on the ball like New Mexico United. You could feel like you have spells where you are controlling momentum, you are controlling the game, but it only takes one moment for Lou City to turn you over and go right down the field. And it's a team that makes low possession football lethal. Dennis Sanchez had mentioned it to us this week, was you don't get goals and results from the number of passes you have, and that's something that, you know, that possession with purpose, the ability to unbalance teams with the way that you move the ball around.
You talk about a possession-based side. On the flip side, being a side that allows the other team to have possession, that takes some steely nerves.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have some strong-willed players who are confident in the way that you play. So, I mean, you think about how nerve-wracking that could be if you aren't confident in the way that you play.
I was going to say, my time as a coach, it would always stress me out when we kind of naturally became the team that was absorbing the pressure, because you just think about some of the chances that you're going to take on in and around the box. And in this game of football, teams of this high quality and the fine margins that you talk about, I mean, if you're giving up chance, now that's where Lou City, the way that they protect their 18-yard box, that makes it very difficult. So yes, you're not in possession a lot, but you're also not allowing a lot of crosses and shots in and around the box. And when you are, you're getting the blocks, you're narrowing those channels, those shooting channels and the angles. So they're doing all the little things in those big moments that come to define matchups. And going back to your point, I mean, it is a style of play that it takes time and it takes commitment and it takes a collective effort. I mean, early on we saw Josh Jones climb the field as one of the three center backs, climbing up all the way almost into the attacking third to win possession. I mean, that is trust of knowing the person behind you is owning their role, and then obviously reading the first ball pressure. And we see Philip Goodrum having a conversation with the center official.
Take a look at this exchange. Those are very light swipes, I will say. Goodrum seems to be critical of the whistle being blown, but the decision's the decision. Lou City side, I should say, that has got that winning mentality, and that was the very first thing that Dennis Sanchez pinpointed to us when talking about his opposition in this game. They've got such a strong foundation built on leaders who have either won at Lou City or have won elsewhere, and then you pair that with some young, hungry players, and it's a really good balance. Fans, if Lou City wins, you win. This season, Lou City has partnered with Penn Station to give you a free sub with the purchase of another. The offer is valid the following day after a win. Head to any participating Louisville area Penn Station location to redeem and say Lou City won at checkout, or use promo code LOUBOGO25 online. Approaching 30 minutes gone by in this one between New Mexico United and Lou City. There's Jansen Wilson. Haven't had to say his name a lot in this game yet, but the service inside, skied over top. Jake Morris was waiting.
Just a subtle interchange from Wilson and Ed McFadden. Wilson drops in to get on this ball. and both possess such high quality delivery, and you get the late entry of Jake Morris just unable to guide this on goal. It was going to be a difficult ask, but obviously the class that Jake Morris has, don't put it past him, and he wants that one back, but it's a bit more of what we're accustomed to seeing from Lou City in terms of that width, those wide areas, that ability to be interchangeable, adaptable. One player drifting higher, the other one dropping in. The fluidity that they play with.
And you know when Jansen Wilson's on the ball, you're worried about what he can do if he steps forward and tries to score. He has been on quite a tear as of late. Scored a blazing goal last game. And as of recent fixtures, has scored in 3 straight league games. It's 4 straight games total if you count the friendly. Guy that's starting to feel the game slow down again for him, according to Danny Cruz. Wasn't quite at his top-notch shape at the beginning of the year. And it falls through Wilson. Jones laying it out wide. And McFadden was offside. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Arturo Ordonez will go into the books. That's actually our first yellow card of the game. Among brought down. He was already slow to get up earlier in the game. That yellow card presented by Bone Dry Roofing to Arturo Ordonez. His 4th yellow of the season in league play. And Among, who we already were wondering if he was going to make it to halftime at the very least. The question gets posed a second time earlier in the game. We already mentioned Kip Keller being a new addition. Luther Archimed also this week announced as a new acquisition. We saw him warming up a little bit, just making sure he's ready to go in case Among is unable to keep playing. And we may end up seeing the new acquisition here in the first half, depending on what the assessment is of the Cameroonian forward.
Thomas Among displaying that physicality, that explosiveness there on the turn, that decisive ability on the ball. In a match like this against an opponent like Lou City, is a player that can drop deep, get on the ball, play make, but then can climb the field at a rapid rate to rejoin what you have going forward when you have a Greg Hurst higher up the field, when you have Akale able to work off of those runs.
Looks like he's going to keep going again. He's been soldiering through this one. Scored the game-tying goal last week against Las Vegas Lights after they were already down a man. So just 2 examples of a bit of the inner warrior that he's got. Chris Shakes lofting this one into the 18. It's through the hands of Fondes for a moment. Perhaps a temporary gasp from fans at Lynn Family Stadium. But it doesn't last long. Chris Shakes rolls it up the pitch to Hurst. And the pressure rewards Lou City once again. Lambert lost possession. Had some steam going forward. It won't result to anything. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
And that's the mixture that you want from New Mexico United. The ability for Greg Hurst to now drop into the midfield, get on the ball. Thomas Amon climbs the field. You have to have that switch because you can't have the center backs just drifting or easily able to pass off a player that's entering the midfield. You still need somebody to climb and occupy those spaces higher up, making sure you keeping a back line honest and having the ability to connect and link up in that moment where you can get faced up and play make.
Serrano rolling it to his left. Morris works in the cross, falls down to Wilson. Jansen Wilson. Too much juice out to McFadden. Rolls out of play. And a couple of punches thrown by Lou City. Mexico's been able to handle them thus far. When you're in a bit of a winless stretch, I couldn't blame you if you saw a road trip to Lou City and went, oh boy, this is exactly not what we need right now. But on the flip side, if you can also see it as a huge opportunity, which is the way that Dennis Sanchez is approaching this one. He told me, I mean, look, we're all competitors, and if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so not only was he excited to play Lou City, but he was excited to play Lou City at Lynn Family Stadium, where they are the toughest to beat. And speaking of tough moments to beat, Lou City have been so good on throw-ins this season. Josh Jones has come into the squad this season, has proven that he can launch it into play, and they have taken full advantage of that, and that's just a luxury that other teams in the league do not have. Scored twice from throw-ins against Miami.
Philip Goodrum on both of those.
I mean, it's effectively another opportunity at a set piece.
Anytime you can put additional pressure on your opponent in their own box, make them make decisions, challenge them in different ways and different looks, and you're going to get one every single time in the attacking third. Any throw in, Josh Jones can switch sides. Got one from each side against Miami. Obviously only one of the two was credited as an assist to Josh Jones, with the first one being deflection off the goalkeeper first.
Shakes handles that throw in easily. From one man's hands into the goalkeeper's hands. Talking about testing yourself against the best of the best in the league while you're in a bit of a rough patch in the season. It is a great opportunity to flip the script, though, if you can find the result. And Dennis Sanchez said he's been reminding his squad how much quality they've got and the quality they've shown even during this stretch of games. And he's just looking for that quote-unquote aha moment. Whether that happens in this game or the next game, of course, sooner rather than later is the preference.
Well, Mark, this is a team that was sitting atop the Western Conference standings as of July 7th. So, I mean, even just as a recent run of form, they were right there. And obviously the West, I mean, you look at the Western Conference standings.
Good grief.
I mean, every weekend is just a shift in where everybody sits, who's above the playoff line, who's below. So there's tremendous opportunity there to string another run of games.
Wilson with the curling effort. Knocked away for a corner kick. Another Wi-Fi corner kick for Lou City. Taylor Davila will provide service. Tied for the league lead in assists. Plays it short to Serrano. He'll return the favor. New Mexico able to handle it, at least temporarily. Morris. He'll whip it in. It's still loose on the ground. Booted away. A bit messy, but the visitors get the job done.
This is where Lou City becomes so dangerous. Obviously, they are dangerous in a lot of different elements and a lot of different aspects of the game, but it's this second, third wave of opportunities off set pieces that talked about the added long throw-ins that they have with Josh Jones. I mean, they just seem to see opportunity in so many different areas of the game, and this is where they have is that second delivery.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. And now we have started here. Lackluster free kick from Chris Shakes. Gonna earn him some jeers from the fans at Lynn Family Stadium.
And coming into tonight, New Mexico United only had 18 games played. So a lot of the teams in the USL Championship were already starting to enter that final third of the season. With the 30 games this season, 4 of which in the Jägermeister Cup. So you see a lot of those teams kind of breaking the season up into 3 10-game seasons, and you still have points out there to get. New Mexico United do. So go back to the quality and the belief, and also revisit the clarity and identity. I mean, that gives you a lot going forward when you know exactly what you're going to do game in, game out.
Lou City, those two first 10-game seasons have been pretty similar and pretty successful, but lots to contrast between the two intervals for New Mexico United. Got another Wi-Fi corner kick here for Lou City. We're getting closer and closer to the conclusion of the first half. Still scoreless here at Lynn Family Stadium. Both sides with some moments. Lou City having the better share of close encounters with goal. Serrano's service, headed away by Kip Keller. Now Morris tries again from long distance. Jake Morris getting his first start in league play this season. Boy, was his contribution legendary in their final Jägermeister Cup game against Lexington. 2 goals in stoppage time to go from losing the game to winning the game. He's 26 years old, from Fort Lauderdale. His second year with the club.
And 2 goals that were very different. I mean, one of them just really opportunistic, gritty, just putting yourself in the mix in front of goal, and then second one just punishing strike from a tough angle against Lexington. This first 45 has definitely seen a shift in possession. We've seen Lou City a lot more on the ball. That playmaking coming from those three center backs.
Would you say either side at this point in time has earned themselves a goal in this game?
It's a good question. I think both teams have provided some different looks. I think 0-0 right now is fair because neither one has created anything clear-cut. I think that's probably an example of where both teams have lived thus far, is doing a good job of creating in the build in the middle third, but they've misfired and have not found that final action in the attacking third.
Stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Refs have added 3 minutes to this one. And we'll go to our halftime break. We got a lot to discuss. Briefly just mentioned the Jägermeister Cup semifinals on the horizon and the quarterfinals having just made way in the middle of the week. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what else is unfurling around the league. It just keeps growing, the USL, in more ways than one. So be sure to stay locked in here as we cover all those bases. Hurst being ushered to the corner by Jones. And it will be a corner kick coming off of the young center back last.
This is an area where Lou City want to continue to grow and be difficult to beat. Now you're staring at a late corner conceded. Got to stay locked in, switched on.
A ripping service headed away. There was some feeling on that one from Zico Bailey. 1 more minute to go. I agree with your assessment, Eric. I think it's an earned 0-0 draw so far. Both sides have had some promise, but haven't been truly dangerous.
And I would also mention that I give both teams credit defensively, making those difficult second and third actions defensively, whether it's getting back in a play or whether it's commitment to blocking a pass, blocking a shot, a service. Those plays are what are influencing this scoreline right now. What a play and link up.
Lambert takes a shirt tug and the whistle will sound. A free kick's incoming, and I would anticipate a booking as well. Kevon Lambert had both the 3 and the 1 of his jersey tugged and pulled aside.
And you almost feel like Jabang makes the right decision in slowing Lambert down here, because now you make it where it is a free kick from quite a bit of distance.
No booking for Ousmane Jabang, but it will be a 5th third free kick. Ray Serrano and Taylor Davila will sit behind the dead ball. Could be the last action of the half. Davila fires! Hits the woodwork! Back heel, back inside! Aiden McFadden skies it over top. And the whistle will sound. That may have been the best moment of the half, but it will remain 0-0 between Lou City and New Mexico United. And breathe.
And you knew it was going to take something special, and Taylor Davila had it dialed up. But I mentioned it a few moments ago, defensively, some of the big moments and some of the big plays. Thomas Among, that block right in front of Shakes was one of the bigger ones of that first 45.
With that in mind, we're going to step aside for our break. When we come back, we'll talk about some highlight names from last week's action and some of the new faces at New Mexico United. 0-0 between Lou City and New Mexico United. We will see you on the other side after a brief break.
When the Thompsons first bought their house, all they saw was their dream home. They didn't yet know that with a home equity line of credit from Commonwealth Credit Union, it would be their keys to epic cannonballs and the chance to see the world. As years went by, it allowed them to empower the next generation and make happily ever after come true. Which begs the question, what could your home be doing for you? Let's find out together. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
We all have bad days.
Mom, the bus just left.
Little challenges can stack up fast.
Guys, come on.
When the dominoes start to fall, we're here to help stop the chain before it starts.
A little bit more busy there on 71.
Or a few school delays
15
today.
minutes worth of rain.
And when you start your day with WDRB mornings, you set yourself up for a good one.
The weekend can get pretty busy. That's why WDRB Evening News is on at 10 and 11. Whenever you're ready to wrap up the weekend, we'll be on.
Listen to this. While everyone fights inflation, some stores raise prices based on where you live.
Everybody right now is on a budget.
Everything's gone up.
It's called surveillance pricing when some customers are charged more because stores think they can afford it.
How to stop it from happening to you.
Wake up with WDRB Mornings Monday.
Summer's almost over.
But there's lots of end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Go long! Yes. Time right. Manny drops back and he flips one right down the middle. Well done. No, this one's burning.
Now you can get a new 25 RAV4 with 4.99 APR financing, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $309 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance included.
Come in today.
Great job, rookie.
Toyota, let's go places.
Scoreless after 45. 0-0. Lou City, New Mexico United. Mark Schoenster, Eric Dobransky with you here on ESPN+. Let's talk about some players that have made an impact for their team and then some players that are going to try to make an impact for their team. First off, Team of the Week, 3 Louisville City players.
Yeah, Taylor Davila, 2 assists in that win at Miami FC, and Aiden McFadden with the game winner. Philip Goodrum had the 2 goals. And then on the bench, Valentin Noel with that first goal in that 2-2 draw against his former team, Las Vegas Lights.
Just chipped it over top. Well, like chipped, probably putting it too lightly. Lofts it over top of Raiko Orozarena. Caught him off his line. Meanwhile, for New Mexico United, we saw Kip Keller. We mentioned Luther Archimed. There have been some movements with his organization as of late. First off, Fernando leaving to go all the way over to Asia to play professional ball, so they'll be losing him, which then, of course, cues in the need for Luther Archimed, who coming over from Monterey Bay. A lot of great words from Mark Briggs while he was at Sac Republic, which is where Dennis Sanchez was prior to getting his head coaching gigs. Then Kip Keller steps in and has to plug in, especially with Talon Maples on the red card suspension, usually another one of the anchors along that back line. So New Mexico United not only just needing to answer to some players leaving, but also trying to shake up the roster a little bit, given the fact that they have been in this rough stretch as of late. It's been a bit funky for them, and maybe some new faces can give some juice to this organization and this club as they get into the final stretch of the regular season, and of course their ambitions to then have a long postseason as well. So those are some of the pressing news with these two sides. We'll look around the league and the scoreboard after this next break. 0-0 after 45. We'll see how this game unfurls in a little bit here on ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
We're here to support the crest, the club, and the community.
We don't stop chanting, we don't stop drumming,
yelling and screaming and chanting.
We'll follow them wherever, pretty much. That's just the love that we have for our team.
We want to be the loudest people, and we want you to hear where we are at.
People in this town love this team, pack these stands out for every single game.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
With a new Toyota from Toyota's national sales event, summer plays on. Whether you're teaching the art of tailgating, showing up for the home team, or finding the ultimate skybox, with a new Toyota, you can keep summer playing anywhere.
Now you can get 4.99 APR financing on a new family-size 25 Highlander or the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander and get 2 years no-cost maintenance included.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Nothing separates these two in a cross-conference clash. Say that fast 3 times, Eric Dobransky. My name is Mark Schoenster. We're here on ESPN+. Let's take a look around the league at what's happening in all these other affairs. As of right now, we're one of just 2 games that haven't had a goal yet. And this is what's coming up for the rest of the evening. A lot of big games, Eric, not only today, but also, of course, tomorrow with Charleston Battery and Loudoun United, a big one that was supposed to happen today, postponed to tomorrow. So maybe some Sunday plans for you soccer head cases who just love watching the sport whenever you can. Get some of that action there. A lot of big games here. I mean, Phoenix Rising, Colorado Springs, right along the playoff line.
I was about to say that one right there. And obviously North Carolina, Las Vegas Lights is another big one. North Carolina continue to vie for a top 4 position in the East. And Devin Rensing and Las Vegas Lights look to kind of climb themselves back into the conversation in that playoff picture.
So those are the games that are coming up later today and tomorrow. What's been going on around the league here this evening? First off, oh my goodness, El Clamico, Hartford Athletic continue their climb. What a dominant win against Rhode Island.
I mean, exactly what Brendan Burke and his side were looking for was a run of form that have not only launched them above the playoff line, but has put the Eastern Conference on notice. I mean, everybody's looking at the score lines from Hartford and just continue to be in awe. And then Birmingham Legion, 1-0 lead against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That is big for Mark Briggs' side. Obviously, they need to still see that game out. But with Hartford getting that result, Indy 11, Birmingham kind of chasing them a bit. So I want to make sure that you're keeping pace and putting some pressure on them.
I'm looking at some of these teams that are winning these games, and they're teams that are on the bottom half of their table. It's just mucking it up even more, Eric. Meanwhile, news and notes, the league continues to grow and expand not only in teams, but also in glorious stadiums. Looking at some of these palaces that are going to come in the future. Super excited for that. It's also expanding, of course, in competition. Second year of the USL Jägermeister Cup. We had those quarterfinal games on Wednesday, Eric, and every single one of them pretty close.
Just continue to be buzzing about all of the news that surrounds the USL, and groundbreaking stadiums being built. Obviously, the Jägermeister Cup had some exciting action in the quarterfinal matchups this week.
We were able to see who was going to play who in the semifinals the day later on the Golazo Network. And this is what we've got to offer. 3 championship teams, 1 League One side, and one of them will be hoisting a trophy in a couple months. These are the 4 that could do it. Do you have any favorites?
I think Sacramento Republic, just because of the consistency you're seeing in both boxes from them.
Could be anybody's game, though. Of course, it'll be interesting to see that Hartford-Greenville Triumph game. League One versus Championship. Always fun when you get some of that rivalry going. Got another great 45 minutes on the docket here on ESPN+, so stay locked in. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get up high quality like bread baked in store and down low prices everywhere you turn. Up high quality that's guaranteed fresh and down low prices on over 1,000 items. With quality and savings that keep adding up, hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Summer's almost over.
But there's lots of end-of-summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Go long! Yes. Time right. Manny drops back and he flips one right down the middle. Well done. No, this one's burning.
Get 1.99 APR financing plus $500 APR cash on remaining new gas-powered 24 Tacomas. Or lease this well-equipped 24 Tacoma for just $219 a month.
Come in today.
Great job, rookie.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is my grandpa's belt. He wore this thing for 30 years.
That's a great belt.
This is my grandpa.
Huh.
You can't buy a belt like this in the big box store because most belts suck. They peel, they tear, they break. I wanted a belt like this one, so I made one. With full grain leather, solid brass hardware, and robust stitching. I can have a belt just like my grandfather's. The handcrafted belt by Clayton Crew.
Here are the highlights from the first 45 minutes of action. Louisville City and New Mexico United doing battle, and battle they did, Eric. A lot of grinding out in this one. Louisville City with the first big chance in the game here.
And a lot of the moments were from turnovers and that pressure that Louisville City had, but then New Mexico United started to add that variety in which they were able to break lines of pressure. You see Zico Bailey going on the dribble that unlocks this space out wide and has the numbers to get in and around the box. This ball earned them a corner, and then some more of this playmaking from Louisville City. We saw the field tilt just in possession a bit for Louisville City. They started to get on the ball a bit more. The interchange of Wilson and McFadden. McFadden finding higher ground, Wilson dropping in. Jake Moore's almost getting on the end of this service and putting it on frame. But Louisville City got on the end of a lot of second and third waves of set pieces, corners, free kicks. We're able to put this in that chaotic box there and making New Mexico United make a couple big plays, and none bigger than that block by Thomas Among before Aiden McFadden put it on frame, and that was going to be a big chance for Louisville City.
So you saw Sean Toch, who will be subbing in for Arturo Ordonez, who was given a yellow card in the first half of action. Pretty nice little option to have on your bench to bring in a guy like Toch, the 9th-year player for Louisville City. 3-time USL champion. Certainly gives you a nice veteran presence on that back line. Both sides will now switch sides. It'll be Louisville going right to left, New Mexico left to right. Brandon Stevis sounds his whistle. And we're off and running once again from Lynn Family Stadium. Let's see if one of these sides can find the edge here. Of course, that substitution, Toch for Ordonez. Brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Misfortune of tonight's match is presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers. Mark Schoenster and Eric Dobransky with you here on ESPN Plus. Both sides had some moments, some chances in the first half, but neither side truly earning themselves a lead in this one. So we'll see if one or the other can attain that edge in these next 45 minutes. Lou City at the top of the table in the East, and right now, the pick of the litter as far as the USL in general. Meanwhile, New Mexico United right in the middle of what is currently a chaotic race in the West for anywhere from last place to third place. Even second place could get lumped in there as well. Really, it's just Tulsa who sit atop the West with some sort of comfort, but even that could be jeopardized if any other team can get into a good run of form.
Yeah, we heard it from Dennis Sanchez. We've heard it across the Western Conference when you talk to coaches. Just the fine margins, the small details that come to define results. And you see it in the standings, and it's reflected. I mean, Monterey Bay, the start that they had the season, and now they find themselves right now below the playoff line. Colorado Springs just a few weeks ago were at the bottom of the West, and now they're right there in the mix. We had highlighted that matchup with Phoenix Rising later. I mean, that's going to be a match that it's almost a 6-pointer. I mean, you flip that script and you get 3 points there. I mean, you jump ahead of the team right above the playoff line. And that's where you also start to see a lot of these teams having to deal with the pressure of getting results week in, week out. And you mentioned it earlier with Dennis Sanchez, this New Mexico United side, that to be the best, you got to beat the best. And this is an ambitious New Mexico United side. They're not just looking to make the playoffs. This is a team that wants to make a run in the playoffs and find themselves in a final. So this is a matchup that they're expecting to be in. They're expecting to have to navigate the ebbs and flows and the challenges. And
Serrano will drive this down the left-hand side. Serrano lifts it across the middle, headed away by Keller. Settled by Davila. Davila with the service inside. Cleared away by New Mexico. Toch. Oh, that one fly towards goal. Ultimately harmless as both a shot and a service.
So difficult there because Akale is just making an effort to keep the ball in play and try to keep possession. He knocks it down perfectly for Jake Morris to get on the ball and go right down the field.
You love the effort, but ultimately in that case, it's detrimental.
We do see Josh Jones sliding into that central role where Arturo Ordonez was.
It'll be Serrano again. Spinning cross, headed upward by Gloucester. McFadden earns a corner kick. We've got a 5-5 corner kick here for you. Davila from the right corner flag. Headed away by Among. And Among, who went down several times in the first half, was able to knock it away. And he's down once again here in the early stages of the second half.
Yeah, and each time that he has been down, as you see possible contact to the head, I mean, it has been different instances and different plays that have found him get a little banged up, and being told right now that he does need to come off and get checked out by the trainer.
Man is taking the beating. Look on his face, though, indicates that he's not ready to come up just yet. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Jones plays it out to Toch. Now they'll work up the middle. Davila connected with Lambert. Mexico United trying to build up the pitch, but they have been struggling with the pressure that Lou City's been providing throughout this game.
But you look at the first half, they were able to grow into that half, and I think that's something that they're going to look at in this first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the second half, is can they replicate what they did in the first 45? Now the possession numbers started to shift towards Lou City. Good outlet here.
Gooderum tried to fire. Keller stepping in, blocking the shot. He may have only been with the club for about 24 hours here, Kip Keller, at least announced 24 hours ago. But he's willing to take a shot for the team. Another 5-5 corner kick for Lou City. Davila driven in, headed outward. It'll be Toch now. Toch's service took a deflection. Cleared by New Mexico. And that one looked like it was going to go to the touchline, but stays in bounds.
When you're trying to turn a run of form, obviously you're going to look at some of the loud and glaring areas that you need to improve, and obviously defensively is the area that kind of screams at you from the New Mexico United side. And you're going in to Lynn Family, playing a team that leads the league with 42 goals. This is a New Mexico United side that still sits towards the top in overall clean sheets, but 6 of those were in the first 10 games.
Jones with some room to operate. He'll play it out wide. Curling ball headed down by McFadden, but ultimately harmless. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 in the new Sirius XM app. European leagues getting started again over last weekend and this weekend, Eric.
Football in full effect now, and
surely creating some soccer buzz for people who got up this morning, watched some of those games and hadn't had enough, so we'll tune in to watch some more here on the USL. Akale. That one still sneaks its way inside for a moment. And it's not kept in bounds by Fondez. Corner kick incoming for New Mexico, their first of the second half. Have mainly been withstanding Lou City up to this point in the first 10 minutes.
And this is where, in the second half, for New Mexico United, match management. And in no way am I saying that they're going to just try to keep this at 0-0. But now pick and choose your moments. Pick and choose where you want to be urgent, where you want to play fast. And these corners, they've displayed some quality service.
Punched away with 2 fists by Fondez. Danny Fondez getting his first look of the season, his first start and appearance for Lou City in over a year. McFadden rolls this ahead. Goodrum wasn't making the run when he made the pass. And that proves to be the difference between keeping that drive down the pitch going and it fizzling out the way it did. Morris earns another corner kick. I think that was very easily the best case scenario because Jake Morris was going to need to put in something special otherwise.
Yeah, and that's that recognition in those wide areas. Can you get something out of nothing? You don't necessarily have the numbers that you're typical of seeing in the box, but you still earn a corner.
5-fight corner kick. Driven in by Serrano. And it couldn't be kept in. Lambert tried to pop it back into the mixer, but Chris Shakes will reset things. Shakes getting his 4th start in league play this season. Obviously, up to recently this season, it was Alex Tabakis who was the man between the sticks for New Mexico United, but they wanted, and forgive me, they wanted to shake things up a little bit, Eric. You hit a dip in form, and sometimes you just need a change somewhere, and Dennis Sanchez was saying they wanted to reward Chris for his hard work throughout this season and give him a real genuine opportunity to get a body of work. It's one thing when you get thrown into a game at a random time, but how do you stack games back to back to back? And how do you grow from each and every one of them? Get a proper assessment. And the fact of the matter is they have a lot of faith in both goalkeepers, him and Alex Tabakis. And the fact is Tabakis is still working hard, asking questions in training, so it's not like they've lost their veteran. I want to give the young gun a chance to show what he can do. It's a lot harder to do that when you're on some sort of win streak. More pressure from Lou City in the corner. Earns them the possession. Coach rolls it up to Lambert. Fadden feeds Davila. Louisville working their way down the pitch. Morris. And we go back to Adams. A lot of patient building, amounting to nothing there for the home side. I don't know if you can hear the PA announcer. Second highest attended game of the season for Lou City. Teachers Appreciation Night there at Lynn Family Stadium.
See those numbers right there. Lou City not only controlling the total amount of shots, but I think the big stat there was shots inside the box. That means the ability and the composure and control to upgrade when it's there to be upgraded. Now, only 2 of those shots have ended up on target, but that still goes to the blocks, the plays that both these teams are making. Where for New Mexico United, they have settled a bit for some takes from distance and Can they find that final pass to break through? And we're going to see that long throw from Josh Jones again.
Yeah, another pseudo set piece opportunity. This one from a good way out, but this guy can launch it. So the decision is a corner, as we are 2/3 of the way through this one. Nothing separating these two sides, but Lou City fetching for that moment here. And they've been the ones asking the questions here in the second half thus far, as we get another 5-5 corner kick. This is their 7th corner of the match. Shakes got a piece of that one. Morris. That's another long distance effort, and none of them have been particularly close, Eric.
No, and that's going to be the decision that they're going to want back. Some of these second actions, offset pieces.
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
And that initial delivery by Ray Serrano, Chris Shakes had to get a palm on that because had a lot of pace. Good layers from Lou City on the runs. Good tackle there.
Josh Jones recognizing the situation. Kept Greg Hurst from poaching and driving it down the field.
And I know that's one of those bigger moments defensively, those tackles that kind of are those wow moments. But Josh Jones defensively, the growth that he is exuded throughout the season is the reason that he's seeing the production that you're seeing right now, because the quality on the ball and his playmaking on the ball has been something that I know Danny Cruz and his coaching staff, this organization, knew they were getting from a player of his caliber, but it's his off the ball work now that has grown so much, and the sustainability, the reliability.
I'll tell you what, Eric, this has been a game where players have certainly made their opinions known. A lot of physicality, a lot of intensity. You've seen players give it their all in this one thus far. It's been a battle. This cross will float over everybody. Serrano picks it up. Akale tried to split the difference, but Serrano was ready to scoop up the loose ball.
And you just feel an uptick in Lou City's pressure. Obviously, it's always high energy, but we talked about some of that rhythm and that sharpness that New Mexico United created in the first half. They were able to kind of build themselves into the match. They have not been able to get a footing here in the second half.
Yeah, it's 4 shots to none in the second half, and Lou City is encroaching upon 70% possession here in the second 45 minutes, or I guess the second 20 minutes thus far. Service inside, Lambert turning, Kevon Lambert sputters up in the air after the deflection. If it continues like this, Lou City are bound to find one into the back of the net eventually. So it has been all in favor of Lou City up to this point in the match. And although things gameplay-wise are going well for Danny Cruz's unit, he's getting some changes ready. Not stepping in yet, but something to get prepared for as a fan. mentioning how clogged the Western Conference is at this point in the season. You obviously are going to get the perspectives throughout the year of those that are in the mess in the Western Conference. I asked Danny Cruz, though, as sort of an outsider. Obviously, you play these teams, so you get a more direct perspective than perhaps we do, and we'll hold that thought for a moment, as looked like a moment was brewing for Lou City. But he just mentioned, as a whole in the league, anybody can beat anybody, and so the West has just been proving that a lot. And he said, I mean, look, we had 30 more points than Rhode Island last year, and look what happened in the playoffs. So that's a case in point of any given match day. And then I thought it was a very interesting observation. He mentioned that there's not a ton of turf pitches over in the Western Conference. There's one or two, and those are pretty good turf pitches as well. And so when you have a good pitch, it can have a big effect on the way you play, and that's resulted in a lot of more possession-oriented teams over in the West, as we're gonna get these 3 substitutions now. So talk about reloading here for Danny Cruz. 3 great options coming off the bench. First, Jake Moore steps out for Amadou Dia, and then 2 veteran goal scorers sub on in Brian Ownby and Cameron Lancaster for Ray Serrano and Philip Goodrum. All of these substitutions, by the way, brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Ownby with just his 3rd league appearance of the season. Cameron Lancaster here on loan from Lexington, but of course, more than familiar with the Lou City jersey. You get 2 veterans who know how to score big goals, and then you also bring in Amadou Dia, who has over 100 appearances across competitions for Lou City. So another great experienced player on this Lou City side. Both sides getting another chance to recoup here. We had a similar moment in the first half. In that case, it was due to, I believe, Thomas Among going down. This is Ousmane Jabang, who is suffering a bit, and it will be the end of his night. Sergio Rivas will step in. So 3 changes for Lou City, 1 change for New Mexico United. Substitutions brought to you by Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Let's see how these new entrants into the game affect how things unfurl. The story in the first half was neither side could find that finishing touch. In the second half, it's just been Lou City hasn't been able to find that finishing touch. So bring in Brian Ownby and Cameron Lancaster, some guys who can provide that.
Yeah, and you provide a different look, and you get players on that have obviously observed the game up until this point, so now they have their own perspective going in, and obviously the experience that you have amongst those 3. Can you create that one opportunistic look? So you get the long throw again.
Second service headed away by Among. Davila squares it for Adams. Adams has a go himself. Deflected briefly after it left his boot. Among is down, play will go on. Ownby still with it. Brian Ownby plays it in the middle. Knocked away by Will Seymour.
This now the 4th time Among is down. See this take, Kyle Adams, and then Among going down.
Thomas Among, 27 years old, from Cameroon. Spent the last 2 seasons with Orange County. And so after we asked the question the first 3 times he went down, Eric, if this was the end of the night, it does appear that we're actually approaching that moment here as Kalen Ryden is getting ready to sub into the match, or at least get the jersey on. And the new addition, Luther Archimed, a 25-year-old, looking to make his debut for New Mexico United. Kalen Ryden, who's been out for a stretch with an injury, another guy that they'll like to have back in the mix.
And these are always interesting scenarios because obviously you're still waiting for an attacking corner for Lou City. So you're getting 2 changes for New Mexico United. So obviously they're getting instruction from Dennis Sanchez and the coaching staff on what their responsibilities are defensively. But then once you get in there, it's got to happen real time. So that communication, the passing off of players, the owning of responsibilities, the recognition has to happen. So for Lou City, is this a moment that obviously you look for the quality service? That's the first layer of being a threat. So you hope that Thomas Among is okay long term. You don't want to see anything that keeps him out a significant amount of time. As many times as we've seen him down tonight and in absolute battles.
So these substitutions brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. You've got Dayon Harris, Kalen Ryden, and Luther Archimed stepping into the game. And Akale, along with Hurst and Among, stepping out. As that 5-5 corner kick goes straight into the hands of Chris Shakes. So a bevy of changes for both sides here in the recent window of time. And a foul here will win the free kick for New Mexico United. Louisville ticket packages for the 2025 season are now live. Join the boys in purple all year long as we hold that thought for just a moment. Great challenge from Jones. Join the boys in purple all year long with season tickets starting at just $15 per game. Visit LouCity.com to learn more. It's another moment where Josh Jones has slid in heroically.
That being one of the bigger chances New Mexico United's created. Now with the turnover here, they got to watch out.
Owen B putting in a shift right now all over the place. And here he is again. Owen B sends it in for Wilson. Second effort, nowhere near on target. Some more promising moments from Lou City. A lot of that facilitated by the number 10. We're gonna get a fifth third free kick here for Lou City. They have been scratching and clawing at the gates. But can they beat that man? Set piece right at the end of the first half, courtesy of Taylor Davila, came awful close. Low driven ball. Took a glance off of Toch. Fans, it is time to vote on tonight's Lynn Family Vision Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now on the Lou City app. Anyone stick out to you, Eric?
I mean, Taylor Davila is always a handful when he's on the ball, dribbling into space, the playmaking ability. Obviously, have not had a lot of those moments. I think the work that Aiden McFadden's done has been terrific tonight, too. Obviously, he's been a bit frustrated throughout the evening, and then I'll throw Josh Jones in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was where my head
went.
went.
Okay, there you go. I knew you were waiting for me to get to Josh Jones, but yeah, I mean, his involvement just on and off the ball. I mean, he has been influential. Let's see, going to be influential on this long throw.
Jones with another throw, flipped along by Toch. Bailey gets a touch on it, and another great tackle, that time by Toch. McFadden has to bring that in. Along the touchline, Aiden McFadden ultimately does pretty well there, despite being between a rock and a hard place. Davila. Whipping ball inside, headed away by Keller. Harris is knocked down, one of the substitutes.
And this is going to be interesting to see how New Mexico United approach what time we have left in this match. I mean, you're on the road, you're at a place that is very difficult to pick up points, whether it's 3 or 1, but this is also a team that is aggressive. I mean, they want to be aggressive in possession, but they have some turnovers that are causing some difficult situations for them. And do you just continue to try to grind this out defensively?
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where going into the game, the objective may wholeheartedly be go in for 3 points, but you're here in the second half. You got to read the writing on the wall as we get another Wi-Fi corner kick. It would make it 2 straight draws, which you could say are steps in the right direction. Yeah, for headed over top. And another corner kick will be awarded. Going off of a yellow shirt last. We are now into double-digit corner kicks as we get another Wi-Fi corner kick for Lou City. That's double-digit corner kicks for Lou City, by the way. Having double the amount of those opportunities as the visitors.
I am not envious of the work that the 4th official is doing tonight. He is playing that balance between having Danny Cruz and Dennis Sanchez approach him between plays. It's another opportunity to get a quality delivery.
Not out of the woods yet, but Keller does well there on the second clearance, or the second header. Davila rolls it ahead. Dia, nice find to Toch. Toch, service center. Won't amount to anything. But it's a bit jumbled from New Mexico. And another opportunity, sputtering around in the 18. They are hanging on by a thread here, Eric.
That ball almost skips through. The number of chances that New Mexico United are absorbing right now, you got to be careful. You see this ball played across, almost skips through to that final layer. Lou City quick to repress, regain possession.
Davila to Wilson. That's going nowhere fast. 10 more minutes to go. It has been lopsided in favor of the home team here in the second half. and yet 0-0 we remain. And that question that you're asking, Eric, is only going to get louder and louder as this game goes along. Hold on. Precarious. But catastrophe avoided for New Mexico. Dia rolling ahead to Wilson. Wilson driven inside, headed straight down. Rivas distributes to Noel. Valentin Noel has some numbers running forward. Archimed is offside. Only the first chance we've had to say his name thus far.
This is a Lou City side that have scored 10 goals from that 76th minute beyond. So from their 42, have found a significant portion here later on in matches.
This one falls to Wilson. Check that. I believe that was McFadden. That was McFadden who had a chance to connect with it.
Like he got caught between two thoughts there. He initially wanted to go through it and get a good strike, and it almost looked like he eased out of the take and maybe saw something different, another opportunity.
I think we're starting to get into gamesmanship mode here for New Mexico United, Eric.
I would agree, and the work that Kip Keller and Will Seymour have done tonight, I know they've had to absorb a lot and they haven't been able to be on the ball maybe as much as they're accustomed to, but they have done a great job of managing this game.
Adrian Perez subbing in for Jansen Wilson. That substitution brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. Adrian Perez getting another look here. As Dayon Harris trying to streak down that right-hand side. Can he keep it in bounds? Harris rips it in the middle. Falls to Rivas. Rivas to the top of the 18. Cleared away. On the note, Adrian Perez back from injury, so good to see him getting some minutes once again for Lou City. 29-year-old is really the first brewing chance of this entire second half for New Mexico. Zico Bailey getting the chance to shoot it from just outside the 18.
Look at that, and you just wonder if that was an opportunity that Sergio Rivas could have taken a touch into that, deeper into the box, and upgraded his own opportunity. Likes to pull it back and lay it off for Zico Bailey.
Adams flying up to knock that one away.
Can one of these two teams ask the right question, execute at the right time, find that final action to create that breakthrough?
Jalen Lindsay will prepare to toss this one in. I get away soon before time wasting is a yellow card issued here. And that's a careless foul to give away there right along the touchline. Kyle Adams talking to the assistant official. But you're giving a set-piece chance when there haven't been many opportunities here for New Mexico United.
And you have everybody around you and in support, so it's just a bit overzealous there from a veteran defender that so reliable in those 1v1 duels, especially when an attacking player has their back to goal. And now this is exactly what New Mexico United would like to do. Take precious time off the clock, hear all the frustration that's going on and around. Let Lou City get frustrated about it as well, and try to see if you can create something dangerous off this service from Gloucester.
Danny Fondez getting his first start and goal in over a year, as this one looked to be flipped into the middle. Harris, second ball, claimed. Danny Fondez gets it. Quickly distribute, looking for Ownby. And Ownby does well there. And he continues to fight, and now a free kick. Quickly retaken by New Mexico. The pitch is stretched at the moment. Lindsay. Plays it to Rivas. A little give and go between him and Zico Bailey. Seymour going straight down Route 1. He's looking for Archimed. Lancaster taking some tugs. It's been a feisty game, Eric. A lot of impassioned displays, some physicality. Perez along that right-hand side has the ball knocked from his clutches. Archimed brought down, just holding off Toch there. Let's take a look at tonight's Lynn Family Vision Man of the Match. And it is Josh Jones.
Sorry, Lou City fans, he was only the third person I listed on my on my my answer to you, but he was still in there. He was just. I was going down the line. I went from
no particular order.
You
were just listing them as they were popping in
and
your
then all
head.
of a sudden I shifted over to the right, and Josh Jones has been terrific tonight. The long throws, the defensive responsibilities. Obviously a bit more to do in the first half in terms of the playmaking on the ball when he was along that right side of the three. But he's had to make some big slide tackles, interventions that have helped Lou City retain possession and minimize some of those bigger threats that could arise.
Support has been good and loud here this evening for Lou City. I'm sure they would have loved at this point in the game to have had the moment to pop off with the goal, but Mexico United has stayed hunkered in. Just 2 shots on target for Lou City, 1 for New Mexico United. Davila rolls it to Ownby. Ownby with some room to work with. Feeds in the middle. Lambert doing well to hold up. Falls to Davila. Another body block. I think it was Kip Keller again. McFadden rolls it to Ownby. Ownby with the cross. Falls to Dia. Headed away. Amadou Dia trying to pick out the far post. New Mexico United continues to be brave inside their own box. Josh Jones readying himself. Lofts it into the 18. It squeezes through. Great parry from Chris Shakes.
And there's that big moment that you need from a goalkeeper. Chris Shakes has been steady all night, but he has not had to make that big game-changing save, and there it was.
Here is a 5-5 corner kick for Lou City. A save punched over the crossbar, it looked like by his arm. McFadden to Davila, lifts that one up, no one can reach it. As you can see, stoppage time presented by Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Refs have added 5 minutes of stoppage time here.
And if this scoreline holds at 0-0, this would be the only the third time this season that Lou City would have been held scoreless.
Wow.
They are on a goal-scoring run of form that sees them even outpacing what they were in 2024.
Play will go on. Lambert pushing forward. Kevon Lambert interjected. Three more minutes to go. Lou City currently sitting atop the table, but any points that aren't 3 points claimed, that's the window of opportunity for the Charleston Battery to claw back some of that space between the two of them, and there's not a lot of it. Eric, we've been talking about when do you start just going for the draw on the road at a tough venue if you're New Mexico United? But I think it's worth acknowledging, you talked about it all the way before the game even started, that New Mexico United has been struggling on the defensive end of the ball. So, sure, of course, you'd love to get the 3 points and the clean sheet, but getting a clean sheet here at Lynn Family Stadium, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean, for a team that has allowed 11 goals in the past 3 games. I mean, 4-0 loss at Hartford, 5-2 loss against FC Tulsa, and then the 2-2 against Las Vegas Lights. So obviously, if you can hold a team like Lou City that it leads the league in goals scored and that is scoring at a clip of 2.35 goals per game, and you can get a clean sheet, you've got to feel like you're heading in the right direction, and you picked up a valuable point with, especially as tight as the West is.
Harris into the 18, tried to slide it in for Archimed.
Josh Jones just making sure to solidify his man of the match. Making a play there.
Ownby out to Dia with 1 minute to go. Amadou Dia. Driven ball centrally, knocked away. I think once again, Kip Keller really making use of his debut.
I can't even imagine how difficult that is. Obviously, just shows the quality and the class of Kip Keller. But obviously, I would also say that it shows the clarity in which the messaging from Dennis Sanchez, his coaching staff, the players around Kip Keller, because when you can sign one day and then be right in the starting 11 and put in a shift like he's had to put in tonight, we sign you, and oh, by the way, you have to play the highest scoring team in the USL Championship for 90+ minutes.
Good luck.
I mean, it speaks to not only his performance, but the performance of the players around him as well, and the preparation going into this match, and have had to do this completely different than what they're used to.
The final whistle sounds, both sides gritting their teeth grinding through 90-plus minutes, and neither could break through. So a point will be shared apiece in a 0-0 draw between New Mexico United and Louisville City. Tonight's game resulted in a Kroger clean sheet. 0 goals, 0 hunger, 0 waste. How about that, Danny Fonda, as you come back in for the first time in over a year? Don't let anything get through. It's a pretty good day in the office.
Wasn't asked to make any big saves, but commanded the box very well.
With that in mind, we've got more to touch base on in this match. We'll wrap up all of our post-game thoughts after this brief break. 0-0 your final score. Post-game coverage here on ESPN Plus coming up next.
Summer's almost over.
But there's lots of end-of-summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event.
Go long! Yes. Time right. Manny drops back and he flips one right down the middle. Well done. No, this one's burning.
Now you can get 1.99 APR financing on a new 25 Tundra or $3,000 customer cash. Or lease this well-equipped Tundra for $419 a month.
Come in today.
Great job, rookie.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get up high quality like bread baked in store and down low prices everywhere you turn. Up high quality that's guaranteed fresh and down low prices on over 1,000 items. With quality and savings that keep adding up, hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Ready to upgrade your air for less? Durr does that. Right now, get a new water heater for free when you upgrade your heating and cooling system. Saving you money, just another reason A+ Durr is your call for comfort.
A full 90-plus couldn't separate Lou City and New Mexico United. So a point is shared between both sides. Mark Schoenster and Eric Dobransky with you here on ESPN Plus as we wrap things up after an impassioned, gritty matchup between the top of the East and a team right smack dab in the middle of the West. Here are your full-time highlights, starting off with tonight's move of the game presented by Toyota. Some close encounters, some great chances, but couldn't break through here right at the end of half number 1 for Lou City, and that story would continue through the whole second half.
Yeah, Chris Shakes guiding this onto the post, and then a big intervention by Thomas Among right before the break, and then a couple key chances late for Lou City there at the end. A good clearance here by New Mexico United, but opportunities were there. They flooded the box, and then this long throw from Josh Jones was just on all night. He just helped it along, and then massive save from Shakes there again, and keeps this game at 0-0 and has his team picking up a point on the road, a tough environment.
Let's take a look at the full-time stats here. Eric, looking at these numbers, well, I mean, that shot disparity is first off crazy, but if you're in either coach's shoes, what is your first initial takeaway from a 0-0 draw on this one?
Who am I coaching?
Well, I guess let's start with Lou City. 20 shots, and you aren't able to get the win.
I think for Lou City, you look at the shots on target because you have the 20 shots, but only 4 of them on target. So the ability to upgrade, but upgrade in a fashion that you're not putting yourself where you're getting shots blocked or influenced by the defender. So can you do that? Obviously, the possession numbers, they were in favor of Lou City, but they've done that in the past in this season thus far. And for New Mexico United, just were not able to get the footing in the second half. They were just not able to find that outlet ball and appropriately break the press from Lou City. They did that in the first half. It took them about 10-15 minutes to get comfortable, but the second half just did not get any sort of spacing. And obviously credit to Lou City and that pressure they put on, but you just thought New Mexico was gonna be able to find that maybe bigger ball, that bigger outlet over the top, and to break some of that and be able to get Valentin Noel back on the ball and things like that in terms of going faced up and going into the final third, but unable to do so, but still pick up a point on the road.
So the shot stat is pretty shocking, but it is pretty interesting to see Lou City win in the possession battle as well, given what we were expecting going into the game. But that's the beautiful game. You never know what you're going to get. That's some fun here, despite it being a goalless affair between Lou City and New Mexico United. For our entire broadcasting crew, for Eric Dobransky, my name is Mark Schoenster. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. 0-0. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.